This is like a Studer 24-track tape machine on the bus for the drum mix. Drum bus. Off, on. Next, I'm pulling up hits for EQ. Pop this on. At the bottom on that sucker. Okay, gotta compress this. API 102. Make it tighter. Now I got something hard right here. I turn them all off. Okay. Okay, that's pretty simple right there. We're just using a DAW to do some work. So I just got back online here. I was like on a flight in from Tokyo to New York, coming back here to hang out, do some work. And I get back here and all of a sudden, Studio One is now Fender Pro. Okay, now Studio One's a software somewhat like this, but not really this. This is better software for doing music. And Studio One has been that background guy, like in the back almost, like it's FL Studio that all the guys love who are doing hip hop, who love it, and it's pretty simple software to use. It's out there in the world. Next is probably going to be something like Ableton and Logic and Pro Tools as far as the guys using a much more professional platform, particularly Pro Tools and Logic. And so Studio One gets sold out. So what happens here is that Studio One is not making any money. And it's owned by a company called PreSonus. PreSonus is making some speakers and a few things it's doing there. It's pretty cool. But the Studio One's not making money. There's a problem. And it's starting to happen, and you can see it already happening with Studio One. So what happens is here, I get up online here. I hit up Studio One here. It comes up like this. Studio One, what's up? Features, okay. Studio One features this. Let's say cook or continue using this. Yeah, leave that alone. Let's go, leave that alone. And so I come back to here and see Studio One features. No. Join Studio One. Let's go to here. When I come to here, this comes up. Page not found. So they remove the page. I get to here, and now it's Fender Pro. Check this out. It went from just being a simple app, was, a recording DAW that was easy to work, easy to use, and now it's come to this point here. I'm not saying it's not easy to use anymore. It's that Fender, the guys that make the guitars, and they have amps, aren't making any money or enough money to survive because everybody's gone to the DAW thing. Now, the big thing about the DAW thing, of course, is being able to have an amp. You got a guitar, maybe you don't have a band anymore, and you got an amp, and you need to do recording so people can hear how good you are. And to do that, you need to go into a software. And to help them sell more guitars and sell more, I guess, maybe not amps, but to sell more the idea of using their cables, plugs, and hopefully get an amp one day, is to have a software that allows you to pick several different amps. To use this amp, but try this, or try that amp in order to play. And you'll see here they got bass guitar, there's basses, right? Oh, pick the bass guitar. This is amazing here. Okay, you do that, shop. They're going through everything here. It's guitars, here's amplifiers, right? And so it's become this thing which is called Fender Pro. Well, what is it actually called? I'm thinking it's called Fender Pro, right? And so Fender Studio. So it's changed around from what it used to be. So what I saw here was that I went back here, Studio One features, request. Okay, Studio One features, request. Studio One Pro. Okay, I see that here. So then you got to go in, you got to purchase the brand new Suno, which is not Suno anymore. It got sold to that company. AI is taking over. These companies can't survive without being on the internet now and trying to sell stuff. Most people here watch my channel have gear, and the person who doesn't have any gear wants to play the game. And if you got nothing, you want to try it out, and you're a young kid, you're going to want to actually try and use Suno. And Suno's pretty good for someone working out a little song, no matter whether it's rap or it could be reggae or it could be pop, it could be rock and roll. It doesn't make a difference. It's big. Now, Suno used to be worth about maybe $293 million and change. This year it's worth $9 billion. That's how big it's gotten. It is the biggest music platform being used in India. Now, okay, you're not doing Indian music, you're doing rockers and stuff like that. I know that. And so, yeah. But think of it this way. Indonesia also is the second largest user of Suno. They have 1 billion people plus. India's about 1.5 billion, 1.6 billion. You're talking about one quarter of the planet using this software. And it's getting more popular. It's cheaper to use. The people at the bottom control everything, essentially. If they can find something they like and they want to use, it's popular as hell, it's going to have the hits on it. And so what's happening here is you can already see PreSonus couldn't stand up with Studio One. They're dying on the vine like now, and they can't do nothing about it. What's going to have to happen is a change in everybody, not just PreSonus, also in Ableton Live. They just ended up getting stems. Stems have been out for a while. That means it took them a while to get stems in their system in order for them to grow their company to do what people were doing in other software, like Serato, and then in MPC. Well, actually Serato, and then Logic. Logic's got 6 stems, which is great, and they're pretty good with it. But remember, Logic is run by Apple. They are a huge company. They can spend a few dollars on their thing, and for them a few dollars would be a couple of million or so, and they can improve it like that. And so what's happening here is we're going to have a battle. The battle to get to AI, to build a platform that's AI, for everyone to get a hold of a better way to create music. And it's happening already. There are softwares out now that help you to set up that drum bus I just did. They'll do it for you. Put it in here and put it in there, and they'll set the levels up and tell you, okay, use this EQ or use that EQ. It just came out. Let me show you this right here. This is it. I'm in Plugin Boutique. I like to go there and get stuff cheap as far as plugins are concerned. And so this is SSL Auto Series Bundle. Now what this actually does is that the SSL Auto EQ will automatically EQ something you put in there. I put a guitar or I put a bass in there. It'll give me the EQ for that bass. Here's a rock style bass EQ. Here's a reggae bass EQ. Whoa. It'll give you compression, limiting, or gain, right? So we're going to use this thing called a dynamic device. Well, guess what? It automatically will set up what you need instantly. Also, auto bus. It'll combine drum sounds into a bus and then set them so they're clear and provide the effects for that bus. This is you don't have to do anything. How's Studio One going to survive something like that? They haven't even passed that idea of the STEM world. So we're going to see more of this go on as time goes on. A new MPC came out. Yeah, it's got more inside of it than it really needs. Okay, something's up. They're heading into the same direction. They have to, in order for them to get more people that are flowing out of other platforms to go on their platform. And they haven't even introduced their latest DAW. So we're going to see a lot happen coming up in the next NAMM. It should be big, or it should be just an intro to a new world where people will accept AI as a helpful tool rather than be scared of it. Let's check it out. Should be fun. But forget about Studio One. Go with Fender Pro. Gotta check that out. Or Fender Pop. What do they call it?